There we go.
It's live now. Hold your weesht, man. It's going to be live. Welcome, one and all, everybody who's out there ready to have a ball with us here on the live stream post show for the latest and greatest so far airing of the awesome, brand new, I guess this is new if it's 4 episodes in, new show, new audio drama, Orchid Grove, coming to you from Terra Firma Media, airing on Mile High Radio, and a post show being hosted by the Hollow9ine Network. Welcome. With me right now, we've got show creator and the main mind behind it all, and the founder of the Terra Firma Artists Union, and Terra Firma Media, and Terra Firma TV, and the Terra Firma Podcast, Mr. Drew Carson.
Hello.
And joining us on the couch as well, Mr. Samson Lancaster, who made his big debut in episode 4 today. How are you, sir?
Greetings. Debut on what? What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Send me a link, and I don't even know what's going on.
Well, the world is watching you not know what's going on, along with the rest of us here.
No change there, then.
I missed here.
It's funny. I was when I was listening to it, and all of a sudden I heard your voice. I immediately messaged Drew. I'm like, Samson. It's like the signature voice coming out over the airwaves. Have you been listening to all 4 shows? Did you do the like I did, like I'm sure everybody else did who's been listening to Mile High today, the marathon of the last 3 episodes, dovetailing into episode 4? Tell me what it was like. Drew, let's start with you because you're kind of steering the ship. Let's get the captain's log first. What's it been like so far? What's the journey been like? What's it been like hearing all the episodes? What was it like hearing all the episodes leading up to episode 4 today?
It was great hearing it on the radio. Obviously, I've heard the episodes quite a few times now, so I'm a bit fucking sick of them, to be honest.
The creator's curse.
Yeah. Yeah.
On my show, not yours. No. I'm talking about my, yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome hearing on the radio. Awesome hearing all the characters come to life. It's one thing to put it on, paper and say, well, this person's going to say this person's going to say that, until you get actors that can actually provide the voices, do the right, dramatic moments, the comedic moments, and all that. It could be a big dog turd, basically. Thankfully, it hasn't been so far.
Yeah, not at all. Of course, broadcasting live from Dave's laundry room over here. Pay no mind to the stuff behind the curtain that should be behind the guy. Samson, did you listen live today? And did you listen to all the episodes leading up? What was your experience in the world of Orchid Grove been like so far?
Well, I marathoned them myself, just per screening copies, because my timing is always up in the air. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's very Twin Peaksy, you might say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of the things that drew me to the whole idea of the project when Drew was first putting it together.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things I ripped off.
Even with the music at the beginning too, like the way it opens in the way that kind of soft, like we're easing you into a place where people are getting their throats slit at diners and whatnot, and kids are finding bodies in the woods. When you read the script, sometimes the story doesn't even always take shape until you actually hear it in this sort of form. Is there anything that's been a surprise to either of you guys when you hear the edited piece? And I guess since Drew is sick of it, let's go to Samson first.
Wow. Well, I mean, when it was all down on paper, I was like, I don't know what's going on, really. I guess it starts to come together when you actually hear things going on, and I do actually enjoy even though I marathoned it, I did enjoy the recaps because they sort of made it easier to, like, in case you missed something, listening to it. And just sort of helping you put pieces together as you go. I mean, I still don't know what the fuck's going on, but hopefully my character does. That would be cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely faked it pretty well for someone who didn't know what was going on, man. And it's cool because you kind of got this like bravado that kicks in as soon as your lines begin, And I mean, where do you, when you find yourself in that situation where you're reading a script and you're not 100% sure what's going on, how do you make your choices for the way you're going to do the character and the way you're going to do your lines?
Well, I do try as much as possible to know what's going on. So really knowing at least the scene, like trying to figure out what's going on in the scene, and picking. I Drew said he was a real bastard, and I said, you know what? I think if I do like this psychotic, I sound like I'm always smiling.
It's funny. I thought that you were smiling when I was picturing your character. I was picturing him smiling.
So yeah, so I thought that he'd be kind of a psycho because he's an asshole, but he sounds like like you said, he's always smiling. So it's like there's something up in his head. I think that not everybody knows what's going on, and maybe he does, So that's the thought, I guess, the thought process behind. I want to seem like a psycho that knows what's going on, and hopefully that's what my character is. I don't know. Drew knows better than I what he's supposed to be, I think.
Drew's like, I'm not gonna bother jumping in on that.
No,
I'm not gonna confirm or deny.
Gonna glow me.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's kind of got the Joker thing going on, then, man. That's kind of cool.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. That's a little too much for me, I think. But, yeah, I mean, it's. I really want to just convey what Drew's character, this character that he created, to just make him come to life. And I decided this time that I would actually just use my voice rather than change it like I've done so many times. So yeah, but like I said, just being me, if I were smiling all the time, which would probably scare a lot of people that I know personally. I was smiling constantly.
I don't know. I think the way Drew's face lit up when you agreed to the Joker thing, I don't think he would be too upset if that's the route you were going. But I don't want to speak for him. Well, we have a new face on the couch for anybody who's paying attention to the live stream, and it does seem like we've got a couple of you guys on, so that's awesome. Please feel free to send us any questions or any comments you have in the chat. That would be great. Mr. James Lundy, welcome to the couch, sir.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Hold your weesh, man. All right, calm it down. I was waiting for that line. After I heard it the first time around, I was like, "Oh my god, that played so well." What's this whole ordeal been like? Tell us a little bit how you got involved with the project, and then Drew can kind of help you embellish on things that you forget or whatever.
I've got to be honest with you. I've known Drew for a wee while now, and we seem to be quite agreeable on a few things. So when he came to the offer, that he posted up the thing online about the show, and I was like, that sounds like a laugh. And I've got to be honest, that's what it was to me. It was I thought I'll be a laugh, and the more that I've done it, the more I got into character, and the more I enjoyed it, and I'm like, this is really good. This is a lot of fun, So I mean, it's just really, it really is as simple as that.
Just so it's like you show up and have a good time, and oh, look at this, we accidentally fall into making an awesome show by doing that. That's pretty cool. It's not many mediums can you say that it coalesces like that and keeps working. And it's kind of interesting that this is sort of such an old school format, right? This is the ways before the days of the internet, and we have seemingly picking up a lot of interest. I mean, Drew, have you been getting feedback from people listening to the show? What are some of the things that you've been hearing, either from the talent or from the people listening?
Some of the feedback I've been getting is people have been enjoying the show. Some people said they could do with some fucking subtitles for like me and James.
I didn't want to say anything, but there were a couple times where I'm like, I bet if you're hanging out, it's easier to understand what they're saying. Like if you're at this table, but for now, I got the gist. I
think it's easier to understand if you're pissed. I think that's the way it works.
Well, it gets the tone and the mood across. It's it gets. I think what we've been hearing from some of the people who listen to like Tangent City, some of the stuff we've heard is that it's almost like when you're reading a book. Like you can picture the scenes. Are there things that when you were reading it are kind of now changing picture wise for you as you're hearing the episodes?
That's aimed at you, James.
Aimed at me. Sorry, right.
I guess I need to direct like somehow which box I'm looking at the bottom of my screen, but or anybody could jump in and take it.
Yeah, aye, it is. It's. I found that the more I done it, the more I got into the character. Like I said, the more I got into the character, and when I heard it, and you start to get a better sense, so you know who you are. At points, it actually felt that I wasn't really acting as such, you know, because you're trying to bring a sense of realism, and I'm fairly positive. You know, there's the mindset that I can put that character in. Maybe not the terms of that character's personality, but I think it wasn't putting myself in that their mindset. You know, there was a couple of things, you know, and some of the terminology and that it was like, this is probably, if you're within people that you were comfortable with, you know, that's probably how you could you would speak. Sometimes I've seen sometimes the vocabulary when you've been reading things, and you're like, I would never talk like that. But as I got more with the character, I thought, that's probably sometimes. Does that make sense? Can you understand?
Yeah, no, I'm following you. I mean, if everybody else is at home, please tell us in the chat if this is all making sense to you as well.
I got like every third word.
And you'd think it would be easier because you guys have probably had conversations like this in real life before. But you know, it just goes to show, as long as the tone's coming across, I think we all kind of get what's going on. Samson, anything from you? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, we've beat up some hicks before, haven't we?
I've certainly had a few altercations in my life, so you get up. One or two.
So, it looks like we've got another guest joining us now on the couch, Mr. Chris Brayton, all the way from, tell us all about, you have a whole bunch of shows under your belt and networks. Don't you run the pod? I'm sorry, I'm totally forgetting the name of your network right now, man.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh, it's pod something.
You can do it. No, you can do it. I believe in you. Try it.
Pod fan, pod fun,
pod fun.
Wow,
pod
man.
Fun is good. I like that. It's not right.
Pod fix, right? Pod fix.
Pod
is
fix.
That? There you go. Oh my God.
Nailed it.
This is what happens when you're doing things on live, folks. You actually fuck up really bad live on camera. But anyway, welcome, man. Thank you for putting up with all of our technical difficulties and me stumbling through your intro.
No, I literally just sat down, so this is great. I missed all of your F-ups.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
You look like you've been running a marathon, my friend. Is everything okay?
No, I got out of the shower. And so
it's the safest place to listen to Orchid Grove. It's the safest place.
Yeah. I heard Orchid Grove months ago, and Drew sent me the link. So it's all just no spoilers for me. So
you have been waiting for, was this the first time we've seen your character? Is this episode 4 your character premieres?
No, episode 3. I'm Carl Thompson.
Okay.
AKA the crazy, I'm the crazy reporter, or reporter if you want to call him that, or newspaper owner, conspiracy theorist, but I may be the sanest one of all. You just don't even know. So
I gotta say, I loved your shot at the president in this episode when you're full on protecting our rights, our First Amendment, while we still got it.
You know, it is funny because when Drew wrote this, like Drew, you wrote this before he even got elected, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Drew,
wow.
Good to see you, buddy.
Wow.
And so Carl at the time was the hero that we needed before we even knew we needed him. So. So I'm basically the Dark Knight right now. About the hero you deserve. I'm the hero that you need. So
I love it, dude. I love it. Now we've had a Joker reference. Now we're in the Dark Knight territory. Mm-hmm. This is great. This is all following along.
Have we had any Dune references yet?
Not yet.
Dune,
Not yet.
yeah,
We're gonna wait for that to take over, but the spice
There
will
you go.
flow, I'm sure, at some point.
Spice will flow.
Suit right now, it's like 100 degrees here. So.
Oh, you guys are on the same coast too. So is it heat wave? And is the heat wave that's hitting London also hitting you out there? Drew, or are you guys all safe? Heat wave across the globe. Someone take it first.
Yeah, it's always 105 here, so that's just how it is during the summer.
Samson, you surviving?
Barely. Yesterday was really hot, but I was at a cousin's house where they had a pool, so that was fucking amazing with the shade and the water.
Nice. And are you guys being hit with this? I keep seeing all of our friends in the UK and London are talking about this heat wave that's like practically killing everybody over there.
Yeah, it's been warm. Like,
It's been warm. A couple of weeks ago, my pilly is absolutely soaking some nights. I've woke up and my eyes are stinging. I'm like, what's that? Sweat in my eyes.
But this is just because you're on Orchid Grove and you're getting nervous about every Sunday when it's going to air on Mile High Radio and everyone's going to hear your performance. Chris, I've been asking everybody as they sit down on the couch, when you were first approached about the project, what did you have in mind when you started to picture your character and started to kind of get an idea of the show? And then how has that evolved or changed as you've been hearing the episodes air or getting the screeners and getting to watch them all ahead of time like the cool dude that you are?
Yeah, it's so funny because like I knowing Drew I've known Drew now for 2 years. Drew, isn't that crazy? Yeah. 2 years I've known you. Feels like an eternity, of course. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say that. And but no, I knew that Drew wanted someone that was, and how I felt like it was supposed to be was it was someone that was very sincere. That's what I wanted to get across, was sincerity. Like whatever it is that he believes, whether it's true or he's looking for the conspiracies, anything like that, like he is going to be as sincere as possible about his beliefs. And that's just where I go from. And then to actually like do the voice itself, I drew from just like the mannerisms. I drew from Cecil from the Welcome to Night Vale.
Nice.
I love his delivery of things. Also, a little bit of Perd Hadley from Parks and Recreation, just kind of like just real deadpan and however things are delivered, and that's just kind of what I went for. I am looking forward to seeing, like if Carl is gonna be proven right is probably not the right word, but just like what is he gonna unearth? What is he gonna? So it's been exciting. So because he's just literally in the shadows most of the time. Like he's a pervert with a camera in the shadows. So
I totally got that.
Aren't we all?
I didn't say Drew. Is that true? Is that who he is? Is that read correct? Or are you just letting him run with it and seeing what happens?
So.
And now, how much of that has happened, Drew, would you say? And then we'll flip it for the actors. How much of this has been you giving people sort of very specific direction of what you want versus giving people a script, giving them a chance to kind of read it and bake it in their mind for a minute or two and see what they come up with?
I think for some people, I gave a specific thing because there's something they needed to bring to it that helped the story evolve. But for the most part, I just gave people a lot of creative freedom. If they were shit, I would tell them. So,
and how has that worked out for you guys on the other side of the mic, so to speak? Samson, why don't you go first?
Could you repeat the question?
How much of the crafting have you felt you've had to do?
I think that Drew was just like, I think this guy is Samson, and this is what I think Samson would do, so I'm just going to make him Samson. And I was like, I don't know if I should be insulted or if it's a compliment. No, seriously, I basically I kept telling him, hey, how about if I do it like this? And he was like, sure. And I was like, what if I do it like this? And he's like, sure. And I was like, what if I whistle the theme song instead of just some random bullshit? And he was like, sure. So I guess that was like, I think the whistling part was fun. That was definitely a direction from him. He said, your character whistles, And
Oh,
then
nice.
I was like, well, what if he can break the fourth wall with his whistle? And I think that was, you know, like what I added.
So
Yeah.
you're the Deadpool of Orchid Grove so far.
Oh Jesus! Now you said Joker, and I was saying Deadpool. I can't fill these shoes, bro. You gotta stop.
Those are
Trying to stop.
way
filling
too
my
many
head.
compliments for Samson right now.
Yeah, give some to Chris.
All right, Chris. How about you? Kind of gave us a little bit of a rundown on how you crafted it, but was there any sort of feedback from Drew that helped you or helped you change direction or anything like that?
No, Drew just said, "I like your voice," and just keep going. Just keep going with that. Sound like you're serious, and use the same voice that you always use. And people seem to like that, and so I just did that. No, he gave me. He just told me what. He just give it. You know, you're a serious guy. You're a little crazy, but you might also be right on everything that you're going through. So just go with that, and then there you go. But yeah, Drew's easy to work with. As long as he likes you, you're good to go. So
It's very Hollywood sounding already. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
James, was there anything that you felt you needed or that you got from Drew as far as direction or feedback that helped you land where you did, or is it more of just kind of like he let you run free and this is where we are?
Oh, I think there was certainly a lot of creative freedom to an extent. Although, well, I'm not an actor by any means, intentional purposes, but we started getting, the, hey, ball bag your Mars on the phone. Second nature, It's
I'm just gonna nod and smile because I kind of missed what most of that was, but Drew responded positively, so I think it was a good thing.
roughly translated, it means, hello, my friend, your mother is on the telephone. Hey, ball bag your Mars on the phone.
Ball bag, that's so awesome. I'm using it from now on. Oh my god. Well, let's direct the question over to our latest guest to join us on the couch. This is this is my dad. This is Dale South's dad over here. I'm almost afraid to address him. But Mr. TW Brown, how are you, sir? From the brink, dude. He actually had a little bit of an emergency situation not too long ago. We're all happy to see you up and well and moving around so far.
Kidney stones suck, man. That's all I gotta say.
Out of nowhere, like we just did a thing on the staircase the other day, and all of a sudden I'm seeing a check-in at the hospital for Mr. TW Brown. I'm like, whoa, what the hell just happened? We knew they were gonna come after us, man. We knew they were listening to us on that recording. I was like, shit, they got Todd. They got Todd.
So, yeah, this episode was just a blast to listen to. I mean, I get to slap you, so I'm sure that's on a lot of people's bucket list. So
yeah, let's see. We'll find out, I guess. I wouldn't be surprised.
That got crossed off, so that was great. It just listening to the story evolve and doing the full Monty today. I mean, getting to go episodes 1 through all the way and just kind of sit back and let it play while I was eating breakfast, and then just kind of hanging out with the missus, and it's just, you can really feel things starting to gel and come together. And one of the things that I noticed was it really seems that everybody kind of slides into their characters a lot deeper as they go along. People really got comfortable, and you can tell. I mean, people know who they are by now, and it's starting to really show, and that makes it even more fun to listen to.
So when you were brought into the project and you had to kind of create the idea of Tom South for yourself, and you first started trying things out, what was it like working with Drew and kind of trying to figure out what that character was going to sound like? Did you kind of have a lot of creative freedom, or did Drew kind of give you a lot of feedback? Tell me a little bit about what the creation of your character.
He sort of handed it off and said, "You're bad, go." So I through everything, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And it was, my influence. I mean, I don't get to have any cool comic book characters. I just got to say that I sort of went with a cross between J.R. Ewing and Don Corleone. So that was kind of my, J.R. Ewing's always been kind of one of my pocket go-tos when it comes to villains, because I just thought that for my time, that guy just played it off so well. So, he can look you dead in the eye and just straight up lie to you. So that's the kind of guy that I wanted South to be. And then, I turn off all the lights when I record this bit. All I have is a screen that's got my dialogue up. So everything's done in the dark. So it just kind of adds another element and helps me kind of slip into it a little easier. So.
Wow, that's cool. And I knew someone would ask that.
Yeah,
I mean that.
What it sounded like.
Well,
if
does
I
any
turn off all the lights? I would probably do it naked.
I've got another job I do that for. So,
okay.
Wow. Who knew you were going to get this much, folks? We're going deep on after the Grove here.
Somebody said the full Monty earlier, so ever since that,
It was him, same guy. Same guy who's doing this in
I
the
can't
dark.
tell. All these bald guys look the same.
We do sort of roll in that club. Speaking of props to Mr. Steve Sandwich Hanish, who isn't with us today because it's his birthday. I actually hung out at his place yesterday. It's how I was beating the Heat in New Jersey, and he would have been an additional cue ball for the lineup here. But
Beating the meat? Is that what you said?
Yeah, beating.
Yes.
there was a lot of
beating the
meat
meat.
beating going on there. I was really surprised at how competitive the environment was. But yes, amongst the meat and the heat, we're both.
Definitely celebrate birthdays a lot differently over there than we do.
No one was more surprised than I was.
Come to America. Stay for the after show, Drew.
Too many dicks on the dance floor.
Exactly. So now that it's been brought up, does anybody else have anything about their process when they're doing their lines?
What's been brought up?
It has been brought up. One guy does it in the dark. What does everybody else do?
I want to know what the creepy guy in the bushes does. Chris, do you actually hide in the bushes while you record?
No, luckily I have the MGT recording bunker, so I have I have a dedicated space. So
I was gonna say no, that wasn't too shameless at all. You guys should definitely be checking out more gooder than if you're not already.
But the bunker is just like you can see the back right now. It's mostly Lego, which gets us in creative mindset, stuff that fans have sent in and everything. So I love being in here. I just like being surrounded by creativity. So it's artwork. It's just tons of things in here. I don't want to pan over too much or anything, but just
there's all kinds of copyright infringement happening now.
Jesus. Yeah, I know exactly.
I'm gonna pull the feed.
But yeah, no. So I'm in here. It's where I record everything, and it's just a safe, quiet space to just let loose, and it's no one else can hear me, so that makes it really well suited.
It'd be interesting to find out if all the toys and the memorabilia in the background actually add to the acoustics when you're doing stuff like this.
It as I've added things to the walls, it has made everything better. So just the more you add to the walls, the better everything sounds. So
oh my God, it's all contributing its voices to the overall sound. This is real, guys. We're discovering
that's it.
Shit. The rabbit hole gets deeper. Mr. Lundy, you have a bunch of toys in the background as well. Where do you do your recording? What's your process?
Yeah, kudos.
When I record, it's usually here in my office, and I've got the blue microphone. If I can just show you.
Oh, wow, look at that.
So we do sort of the podcast fed with Comic Con and stuff here. We record that, so it's kind of set up. In fact, everything, all the paper. It's a spare bedroom in the house, so it's the headquarters for the con and everything.
Nice.
It comes nice.
And I think we're seeing into Uncle Touchy's shirtless podcast studio over with Samson at Strengthcast.
Yes, this is Uncle Touchy's shirtless podcast studio, and thank you for joining us here. Shirts are not required. Pants are not required. Wait, no, shirts are required.
Pants are not allowed.
They're not allowed. Yeah, see, you guys know it better than I do. What the fuck? Jesus. How many times have you visited Uncle Touchy's there, buddy?
I guess more than I realized. It has stuck.
Yeah, I record in my podcast studio, which is lovingly referred to as Uncle Touchy's shirtless podcast studio. But I don't know. The lines sometimes I'll do them in the morning, like my creative process in the morning when I have like a couple of hours before work where I play video games, work on podcasts, record audio for audio dramedies, namely Orchid Grove. And I'm not going to shamelessly plug anything else. But
like Tangent City, that's okay.
Tangent City. I forgot there was I was on some other thing.
Or Advanced Band. I mean, come on now.
Oh yeah. But no, I do everything in here, and sometimes I'll just come during lunch, like when I was like, you know what, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this role. I've read the script a few times. I just want to go do it right now because it's in my head. Like I'll be driving home for lunch, and I'll hear. In this case, Special Agent Bryant, is in my head, and I'm like, okay, this is how I want to read this. I gotta get back there and do it really quick. It's more of like when it comes to stuff like that, when it hits me, like I feel like if I can, I will go record.
Cool. Drew, anything special for you process-wise, or is there anything special about the writing process that is different when you're working on Orchid Grove versus some of the other projects that you're more known for working on?
The only real difference is you have to write everything for what people are hearing rather than what they're seeing. Other than that, it's a piece of piss. To be honest.
Well, there you go. And I think Blaine, who was also on the show all 4 episodes now, is going to join us in a second. Wow. What's going on? Why are we hearing this? Who's got audio coming in? Is that Mr. Blaine himself bringing that audio?
Probably was, yes.
It's still happening, man.
Don't see how.
Okay, it's good now. We're good. Blaine, welcome to the sofa, man. How are you?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Good.
We're all tired of talking about Orchid Grove, so give us your piece, man. No, I'm just kidding.
It's Sunday afternoon.
We're chilling. We're talking process. We're talking creativity. We're talking how our characters have evolved. But tell us, did you do the binge? I'll listen to all the episodes in a row today, leading into episode 4.
Oh, of course. I mean, I have nothing better to do with my life.
Than actually support a project I'm involved with. Tell us what are your impressions of how's the show evolving and how's your character evolving? Tell us a little bit about what you thought at the beginning versus what you think now.
What I thought at the beginning, definitely. And I know I've talked about it before, that my character initially with what Drew had written strikes me as being a little bit meek, but then all of a sudden he has this moment in episode 3 where it kind of threw me, and I was under the impression from the way it was written that I was supposed to be a little bit more aggressive in my approach. And then in episode 4, once again, I kind of fell back into that more meekish side. So I'm waiting to see where that development actually goes.
As far as that goes for everybody, I mean, I know we've all recorded the whole season, so we know where our characters are going to go. But when you think about where they are now and you think about where they're going, were there things that you're looking forward to or things that you were kind of hoping would happen for your character? And do you have any predictions about maybe season 2 that you're kind of already starting to figure out how you're going to tackle if Drew decides to hire us all back for the next season? And Blaine, since you're on the couch new, why don't you start? Yeah, we're all getting recast, by the way. There's always that chance. He's going to be like, fuck you all. We're going to recast the character.
Wait, you guys are getting paid? What do you mean hire? Wait, what?
Oh, wait, you guys didn't sign anything? I signed something.
Oh, let's see. And as far as where I think the character is going to go, I don't know. It's kind of a juggle up and down now after I've experienced those 2 dynamics of the personality. So I guess at this point, my biggest concern is which part of him is real, because I I don't want to get beat up a lot more. It just seems like I get hit with a shovel at first, and I just walk around, and everybody's sitting there thinking that I'm this big wuss. All of a sudden, I show up, and I'm not, and then I'm back to a wuss again. So what am I supposed to do with that?
I don't know. Is you asking Drew directly? Because we could let him answer, I guess. Each character could give, like, here you go, 2 minutes with Drew, the creator. Let's do some live feedback right now.
And actually, before he gets into that, the reason I bring that up is because I heard you talking to everybody else as well, and I was just kind of told that my character had different levels to him, but really no other direction. So I'm trying to read into the script every time that I'm looking at it. So if I'm approaching it wrong, I'm approaching it wrong.
Well, that could be by design of the madman himself, though. You know, I mean, we could let Drew respond.
That was by design. That was because I knew Blaine would be nervous while doing it, and that would add some nervous energy to his character. Basically, I was being a dick.
Or a good director. I don't know. You can look at it either way on that. It sounds very Lynchian, almost sort of. I don't know. That's like Fincher level now. I'm going to manipulate your reality because I know it'll give you a better performance.
Definitely not Bryan Singer level, though. That's just good.
Orson Welles, though, or even Alfred Hitchcock, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. You're a wee bit Harvey Weinstein with me, big man.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
We do in our private lives is our business.
A lot goes on the other side of the pond. That was a shocker right there.
I was totally wrong.
Who's dying early next
Mr. Brayton, what about you for your character? What do you hope comes true? What were your hopes and dreams?
You know, I'd like to hide in a few other things. I'd like to hide in some closets. I'd like to hide in some more like expensive shrubbery. Maybe in a tree or anything like that. Yeah, it's just things like that. Like I'd like to do a lot more hiding, but like in better places. You know, maybe in a bathroom. Maybe I could hide like in a bathroom stall, so
you're killing James. You're actually killing James. That's the name of this episode now. After the Grove, Killing James.
Killing James. Yeah, that's a great. That's it. Trademark that right now. Killing James. No, I have a feeling that my character isn't gonna go through a whole lot of growth, and that's not necessarily a negative thing. I feel like Carl already knows who he is. He believes what he believes, and he's just gonna keep on fighting the good fight to promote his version of the truth. So it's gonna be, he's just gonna be just Carl for the rest of the thing. And you know what? I actually like that. I think we need some steadfastness in there. So
he's clearing the name of Carl's everywhere after The Walking Dead dragged it through the mud for like 7 seasons.
Come on, Carl. Get your act together, Carl.
Stay on the show, Carl. Stay on the show. TW, what about you, knowing that you're sort of... So I didn't get the chance to tell you that I actually see you as sort of like a Darth Vader to my dark side Luke that we didn't get to see. Like if Return of the Jedi had ended differently and Luke was like, yeah, fuck it, let me join these guys. That's kind of how I see Dale South a lot of the time. Especially because I keep saying yes, father, which I always was like, oh, that's a little weird. So I have to have something cool to smooth that over internally.
I'm actually waiting for you to just like grow the cast iron pair and go heads up against me. That's kind of the direction I'm waiting to see if that happens, because you are sort of building your own little side crew. You do have your own little your own couple of flunkies sort of hanging around, and all it takes is that one day where you get the right cup of coffee or whatever, and I think you're a chromosome away from snapping. So
when you say you want him to grow a pair, are you meaning Dave himself or his character? Because I think
man,
I would only say that's the character because I do love the real Dave, and it was fun when I found out who I had cast against as the progeny. So when I found out it was you, I felt Rebellion was actually the easiest way for the cards to fall. And I if it happens, then I look forward to it. And if it doesn't, then whatever direction it goes, I'm sure it's going to be a blast. I'll get to say fuck several more times because I know that that's Drew's favorite, expletive in the script. So
Second favorite.
Second cunt was before it, yeah.
So,
Cunt before all.
So but and I'm also waiting to see kind of where Kara's going to fall.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. I'm waiting to see what side of the fence Kara falls on. Every time she has a scene, I enjoy listening.
Yeah, she kills it. She absolutely kills it every time. Samson, what about you? What do you think for your character? What are you looking forward to? What are you hoping happens?
I'm looking forward to pushing around local law enforcement more. That's very enjoyable. I like walking in and just being a dick and telling everybody you're going to do it my way because I'm fucking special agent. And,
him and Beaver.
No, seriously, like I like that he's a dick and that he has a little bit of power. I hope that the power grows and there's more scenes like where I get to push people around. It's enjoyable.
Cool. And I'm sure Drew has a lot more of that in store. James, what about you?
Winning a game of cards or whatever the hell we're playing.
I don't know what that meant.
Cards, no. Because we're playing cards.
Mm-hmm.
Cards.
Okay. So you're waiting to find out what happens in that game. That's all you care about as far as your character is concerned, or
that's how deep I am.
Well, all right. Drew, is there anything you can tease for us about what's to come, or how close some of us have been with some of our guesses or our wants and dreams for our characters here?
Some of you have come close. Chris came close. He's definitely going to hide in a toilet at some point in season 2. It's going to be a ladies' toilet just to make it more awkward.
Be at the bottom. So,
do you guys have favorite characters aside from your own when you listen to the show?
For me, it's Kara.
Yeah, Kara's awesome.
I think Dot, because of her accent, reminds me of one of my favorite characters in Supernatural. Rowena the witch.
Yeah, Dot is awesome. I think the kids are doing a pretty good job too. Ari's doing a pretty good job. Was Natani in there too? There was like a scene where all three of them, right? Yeah, the kids are kicking ass. I like the Scottish mob scenes because I'm just sitting there going like, I would just be horrified. Like if they walked in talking like that, even if I didn't know what they were saying, I'd just be like, oh fuck, something's gonna go down.
Can you not just point me?
Yeah.
The video, who did the video presenter?
DK, he's not here.
Yeah, Uncle Jack, it's Ken Lloyd, DK.
Oh my god, when he was doing the call-ins to the radio show on episode
that was
4,
freaking great.
I was crying laughing at that. That was awesome. Well, I don't know, man. I think we've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything else about Orchid Grove that, Drew, you were thinking by now with 4 episodes down? Is there anything you wanted to highlight or point out as far as the plot goes or as far as the arcs of the characters go that people should be paying attention to as we get ready for episode 5?
Not particularly. I would like to point out that everyone else was saying it for Kara, Tanya Milosevic, hard for me to say her actual name, is really good in the show. And I think having someone that's that good in a lot of scenes really helps elevate other people when they hear it. So I'm looking forward to seeing season 2 when she interacts with more of the cast.
Yeah, that's right. It feels like a lot happens, but like there are a lot of characters at this point haven't met yet, and who like everyone's talking about Kara being back, but like my character just ran into her at the very last minute in this last episode, and being the sort of I always pictured Dale as sort of just the college flunky who's just chilling, enjoying the fact that his dad's got a lot of money, would just play video games all day if he didn't have to go out and take care of certain things. So I don't necessarily see this whole plot to take over his father's business, but maybe because he's being accused of it so much, he will decide to go that route. You know, it's like, hey, fucker, I wasn't going to do this, but now that you pissed me off enough, I am. But do you think there's anything about the 6-episode package, the sort of which I always call the European style season order, that has been challenging for you to make a lot of things happen, or has that helped you with pacing it, do you think?
I'd say the biggest hurdle was making the twist ending on episode 6 make sense and not feel forced, which people will hear when it comes to episode 6, obviously.
Yeah, spoiler alert there, folks. Prepare for a twist. All right, well, as we draw to a close here, why don't we go down the line and let everybody pimp their shit? It's something we like to do when we have a group of talented people who come together for one project, but then all have stuff going on at the home camps. So, all the way at the end of the row on my screen is Blaine, and since you were the last in, why don't we give you first licks at telling us where people can find you and hear all about the other awesome stuff you got going on when you're not playing a part on Orchid Grove.
Let's see. Well, thank you for the opportunity, first of all. Obviously, if you saw my little logo pop up here and there, my podcast is Appalachian Pie. You can find me on iTunes, Google, it like crazy, whatever. appypie14@gmail.com if you want to reach out to me directly. And you might be able to find me soon showing up in some of Dave's work, and otherwise, heck, everybody else promote your crap. I suck at this.
Well, you're good at segues. Moving next down the line, I've got Mr. Brayton. Tell us all about Podfix and More Gooder Than and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I run the Podfix Network, which is just a fantastic lineup of shows, ranging from things about movies to urban legends to interviews with celebrities. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of great shows, and I'm really proud of it. You can follow that on Twitter at Podfix and podfixnetwork.com to see the full lineup. And then, of course, my main job is I co-host the More Gooder Than podcast, where we take 3 movies, similarly themed, make them fight to the death. It's a lot of fun. You can find us on all the podcatchers, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, all of those. And you can follow us on Twitter at MGT Podcast. So there you go.
Awesome. Mr. Lundy, you're up next. Tell us where people can find you.
And other than Orchid Grove, we do the Hero Talk Rebirth podcast, which is pretty much comic book and geek sci-fi related, whether it's films, TV, video games. It's tied in with Edinburgh Comic Con, which pretty much takes up most of my time, organising it during the year, and then get the payoff at the weekend. That's pretty much what I do, 24/7.
That's awesome. Knowing that we have one of the organizers on here, we should all try to do a meetup of some kind, like a podcaster super meetup at the Edinburgh Comic Con. That would be awesome. Look for the GoFundMe coming soon from the Hollow9ine Network to put this together. Next in the lineup on my screen, I've got Mr. TW Brown. Why don't you pimp your shit? Tell us what you got going on, where people can find you, and hear more about what you're doing.
All over Amazon, if you type in TW Brown and you're a fan of zombie fiction. I've got a series that apparently is good enough to get, to elicit death threats and hate mail. So that's the Dead series. Audiobook recording, and I'm booked through the middle of next year in that realm. Show up in Tangent City, Hollow9ine production. Also part of Hollow9ine's Mindhunter series breakdown. And as you said earlier, we just took the first 4 episodes of The Staircase, and we're going to start putting that down as well, going through the episode by episode recap with a lot of editorializing and vitriol.
Yeah, it's hard to stay contained on that one. That go a little crazy.
Yep. And other than that, just pretty much doing anything that comes my way. So sort of like a really cheap hooker. I find it hard to say no to a good offer. So.
All right. Well, you've heard it here first, I guess. Live, no less. Mr. Sampson, tell us all about what you got going on. Pimp your shit.
Well, I got a big logo here in the back. That's StrengthCast. That's my video game podcast at strcast.com. Or just look up Strength in Gaming. And I have the Raging Red Onion on YouTube. That's a fun one. I've just been basically having fun with some silly accents, playing a character from a game that I love, Dark Souls. And most recently, I released Advanced Band, a brand new serial audio dramedy, 90s teen awkwardness and angst, etc. Very much a comedy, but also with some drama sprinkled in. And you can find that at advancedbandshow.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Drew, anything else you want to tell everybody about aside from Orchid Grove? I'm sure our Orchid Grove has been like dominating your world, as well as the Terra Firma Artists Union. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect going forward.
I'll on episode 5 next week, 6 the week after. I've got my documentary Mind Garden's going to be coming up on Amazon Prime and YouTube at the end of August, start of September. So that's the next project, and I've got a couple other Amazon Prime TV show projects coming up as well. Can't really talk about them at the moment.
Very cool, man. We got a lot of talent at the table. It is kind of amazing that the universe hasn't opened a singularity on us just from all of us being on the same call. Thank you guys for coming to hang out at the Hollow9ine Network for After the Grove, the live post show about Orchid Grove from Terra Firma Media and airing on milehighradio.com. Make sure you check it out Sundays at 12 noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and whatever the UK time equivalent of that is. I think it's like 8 p.m. over there.
8 p.m., yeah.
So, yeah, make sure you tune in live and then check out the post show wherever it may be. We're happy to have it here today at the Hollow9ine Network, and we'll be seeing you guys next time. Take care.